Hey learners, today is a new day, so let's learn something new. So today we're going to talk about Cornell Notes. Now we're going to do this as quickly as possible, but I'm going to try and hit every detail and give you the proper method as was taught to me on how to do Cornell Notes. Alright, now I'm a horrible note taker. In fact, in school I hardly ever took notes, and I absolutely hated when I was told, or even when they made notes part of your grade. I hated it so badly. But now, I don't even really need to take notes, but when I do, I'd use Cornell Notes because it just makes it a lot easier, and I don't have to go through the notes too many times, or even like look at them that often before a test or a review material, or even one of these videos. I don't have to look at it that often just to understand the material that I'm trying to cover. Alright, so first off, supplies. Now, you could use, where'd I put them? Some fancy Cornell note paper. Look at that one, notes and stuff. Yeah. You don't need it. You just need a pen and paper. That's it. If you're using an iPad, you can even use an iPad. It's really easy with but I'll cover that in another video. You don't need to know that right now. We'll do iPad stuff in a different video, okay? Alright, so first off, pen, paper, pencil's fine, yes. You don't have to ask, alright? First thing you're gonna do, from the top, about 2 inches down, draw a line from left to right, or right to left, you know, it's up to you. But just draw a line. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a line, alright? And then on the left side, go in about 3 inches and draw a line from that line to about 2 inches from the bottom. Alright? And then at the bottom of that line you just made, draw another line from left to right. And you should see your paper divided into 4 sections. At the top, you're just going to take note of the date, the topic you're covering, and your essential question. Now, your essential question is what you want this page of notes to answer. On the left hand side in that left panel, we're going to write our own questions, but we'll get to that later. But on the right side in that larger section, that's where you'll just take notes as normal. Big thing, make sure that you abbreviate where you can, because you know you don't have the whole page to work with anymore, but you do have a sizable area, and you want to keep things concise and to the point, but also organized. Now, if you're still taking notes and you fill up that box, go ahead and just flip it over, draw your lines again, and continue filling in notes in the notes box, and continue on until the lesson is finished with the instructor. Alright, now that your notes are complete, we're going to go through them first to find our main ideas. Now, you probably had them already made out for you by your instructor or whatever PowerPoint they were using, but you want to make sure that they are divided and that they are clearly identified, so you could use a highlighter or even just number them. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So go through your notes again. This is the second time you'll have gone through them, and highlight the main ideas. Also, make sure to take note of any particular vocabulary words that you might have missed, or any gaps that you may be having with your notes. If you're having questions that you're asking yourself after reading through your notes, that's when we come to the third step, compare. Now, you want to find a buddy to compare your notes with and fill in any gaps that you may have. If you have any parking lot questions or questions to ask the instructor, make sure to take note of those and get those answered before we move on to the next step. Alright, now that we've compared and filled in the gaps, let's go on to the questions. Now, the questions are entirely made up by you and what you took notes on. So go through your notes again and look at each main idea and create a question for each main idea. One that you want to think of it kind of like Jeopardy. So you already have the answers, now you just need to create a question that connects the two. One helpful thing with these questions is that after you go through an entire unit and you're getting ready for a test, you could take each of those questions, put them in a list, and you've created your own practice test. It's that easy. You've already done all the work. All you got to do is answer them again. Now, you don't want to write too many questions because it's going to make the last step a lot more difficult. So try and keep things in nice little chunks so that it's easier for you to look back on it and also answer them. What you don't want to do is create simple questions that are one-word answers. You want to create questions that at least give you a moment to think or to create a full sentence for. You don't want to dumb down the knowledge that's in your notes. You want to keep things fresh and also keep yourself thinking. All right, so at this point, you'll have gone through your notes once when you were writing them, twice when you were writing your main ideas, 3 times when you were comparing and filling in gaps, and the 4th time when you were creating questions. Now the 5th time is when we fill in that box at the bottom. We're going to summarize. And the easiest way to summarize is to just simply write 1 or 2 sentences, full sentences, for each of those questions that you wrote. And with that summary, you should be able to answer that essential question you had at the top. Now, once you finish your first page of Cornell Notes, you'll understand why it's so easy to just absorb the material. Now, mainly that's because you went over your notes 5 times already just finishing the page. Unlike regular notes, where you'll have written tons of chicken scratch and have no idea where things start or where things begin, how things are connected, you'll just have a huge page of notes to go over right before a test. But if you've done Cornell Notes the correct way, you'll have gone over your notes 5 times, and you should already know most of the material. And going over it again is easy with the summary, the questions, essential questions, and your highlighted main ideas. Now, if your notes have gone over multiple pages, what I like to do is to just simply keep everything 1 page at a time and summarize it 1 page at a time. That way, all I have to do is flip through the pages, read the summaries, and look at the questions, and I'll understand what I need to know for that unit. Now, if you develop a habit of taking notes this way, you should be able to develop better study habits and better knowledge retention rather than just absorbing or remembering something for a day and then spitting it back out on a test, which is really not a great way to learn. I would know, that's how I got through a lot of school, and I just have to go through and relearn things now. And it wasn't exactly the easiest thing to do. But hey, you probably learned something new today. I'll see you next time.